What is up, sim racers? Welcome back to another video, and welcome to the Qualcomm circuit at Naval Base Coronado here for PCC. Going to be driving the M2 today with a setup from Justin Krasneski, fellow YouTuber. Go check him out if you haven't already. He's actually the community manager for PCC. I've reached, I think I'm up to 3,400 I rating in road or sports car. That's the highest I've ever been. And I'm driving over my head a little bit to try and keep it, so I'm going to make sure I drive a little bit under right at my limits and not over push what I'm capable of, because I have fallen into that trap before when I got a bit over 4,000 I rating in the oval stuff. So we're not going to focus on I rating. We're going to go out and just try to have a good, fun, clean race. Again, set feels really good. We're just going to drop some of the fuel level here for qualifying. We're going to go the softest on the ARB setting. And I think we're going to call that good. We'll get out here for qualifying. Not sure what IR the one car is, but we'll probably not be able to keep up with him. This is a late night split, so probably two splits here. This might even be a single split. Spec map is not loaded, but it's supposed to be a Twilight purple metallic on pink and white with our Chaos Road Team logos. And that is the inside of the car. Logitech on there. I think it turned out pretty good. It looks a lot better with the spec map, obviously. I gotta figure out what's up with that. My buddy Off Pace on the back. Hotlap Sim, KRT. I think it turned out pretty good. So we'll see what we can do for qualifying here. I'm already feeling a lot more stable with that ARB arm adjustment. I don't usually adjust anything on the setups, but I feel like that was a necessary change. At least tweak some stuff and figure out how everything works. And this is a very tricky course. Yesterday I did my first two races here, one in the Clio. Barely won that. There were 3 Clios there. Barely held off the guy in second place in that. And then I did an M2 race and pulled a ridiculous gap on the field in that. I wasn't sure what happened to the guy behind me. He was about 2100 I rating, but he was keeping up pretty well with me for a while. But yeah, this is my first ever street course I've purchased in iRacing, and I've been really enjoying it so far. I love all the elevation changes, surface changes, and just how tough and demanding this track is. And it takes an immense amount of focus as well. So commentary is ridiculously difficult at a track like this, but we're gonna try our best. I've been struggling with this section here to get the power down. I'm still learning weight transfer in this car. But honestly, driving this more, I think I enjoy this more than the F87 model, because this car still is difficult to drive. Not as difficult as the F87, obviously, but I still find it enjoyable. Again, my biggest problem is it doesn't have an inline 6. Whew, overcooked that. And I gotta check my tires once I'm done with this race. I gotta remind myself to do that, because in real life, if you watched the Cup Series here, they were having a ton of tire issues. So, not sure if it's going to be the same in iRacing, but I at least want to check how much that plays a factor. And how much these M2s actually do burn up tires if you're abusing them. Another thing to note is the fastest GR86 drivers will catch and pass me a few laps into the race, because they can carry so much more corner speed than the G87 M2s. Which is kind of crazy, because it always used to be the opposite. The F87 was quite a bit faster than the GR86, I believe. I can't believe it's flat out on turn 16, and it's damn near flat out into turn 1. Just a little lift. That's where I wrecked the last race. I tried to send it a bit too much in there, got unsettled over the bumps, and just completely destroyed the car and Alt F4'd out of the race. But we're third so far with that lap. I could do a lot better than that, though. It's quite terrifying how close you have to get to the walls to maximize speed at this place. Super easy to make a mistake, but I love challenging tracks like this, and I think it only just makes you a better sim racer, to be honest. I'm not going to get my second lap in, that's alright though. Alright. Pace car's about to pull in.
Getting ready here, getting ready. Pace car's leaving. Green flag, green flag.
And a 15 jumped the start, I believe. Huge contact from the 1. Oh no, that is the 15, never mind. I confused the 15 and the 1. Barely gonna clear the 15. We'll try to get by him here and pull away a bit. Maybe he can fall into the clutches of the 9 car, but he was pretty quick in the qual. Somebody died. And Gillis, or Giles, however you say his name, is only 2.8 seconds behind us. I've been having trouble with that section too. I'm not staying close enough to the wall, and that turn as well, that left-hander there is hell because it's a complete blind spot. I'm a single monitor user. Whew, really bounces around up there.
You're in second.
And then turn one, I understand why they were hitting that inside wall. Both in the O'Reilly race and the Cup race, there was a massive wreck into one because somebody hit that inside barrier into turn one, and it's quite easy to do. Like, I can't even imagine the skill required to run something like this in real life. But Ryan Ware in first is completely gone, so we'll have no hope at catching him. He's in another zip code. But I'm completely fine with chilling in second place, and it looks like Alexander is falling off of us a little bit, so just find our groove and chill. Don't overdrive the car. Lead GR86 is about to us, so we will not fight him at all. I just didn't want to let him by there, because then we would have lost a ton of time in the straight, but... Alright. Just assuming he'd catch me into one, I completely blew the turn. And Alexander caught us a little bit, but that's okay. Not sure if he'll be faster than us in the long run. But at VIR, this set really started to come alive in the long runs. I was keeping up with the 5,000 I-rated driver, so... This is a really competitive setup. And unfortunately, we're catching some of the
Right side.
GR86 lap traffic already that must have wrecked early into the race, taking their fast repair. Just make sure we give them a lot of room. Always try to give the lap cars a lot of room,
Keep to the left.
just in case they don't have a lot of their...
Right.
Just in case they're damaged or don't have control of their car, or lower I rating SR, whatever it may be.
Clear.
But Alexander has really caught us through that lap traffic, so might have a fight on our hands. I pulled away big time there. I wonder if Alexander's on power level 1. And that's why he's really fast through the corners and slow through the straights. Because if you didn't know, there are 5 power levels for this car that you have to manually adjust, and the baseline setup, I believe, starts at power level 1. So if you're on power level 1, make sure you set that to 5, or you'll be at a massive disadvantage. Hopefully he just gives it to me. It's
Car on the right.
not a good section to pass the GR86s because
Left.
they are faster than us through there.
Right side. Stay on the left.
Very sketchy section to make a pass. Honestly, probably should have waited, but he did a good job giving me room. Got me out of slow. He's getting out of the way. Probably checking up more than I have to, but I just want to be safe, honestly. Because it looks like a couple of the M2s have had accidents already and have taken their fast repairs. Did run a 222 last lap.
Got a car on the left. Still there.
We're gonna let these guys go.
Left side. Clear on the left.
Alexander's pretty far back, so... And these guys are battling, so I don't want to interrupt that. But I think there's even another one behind us, but he's a lap down. So he can stay behind me. Just not getting it rotated like I need to. Really facing some understeer. For anybody struggling with turn 1, I found it easiest to start turning in at the 1 board, or right as the black banners on the left separate. And I'm using that as my turn-in point. Thankfully, there are a lot of markers on this track to determine braking points and all that, which is nice. Because even a lot of the traditional, like, regular road courses, sometimes it's really hard to find references, at least in my case. Because it'll just be plain grass and there's no physical markers into the corners, and that's when it can be a little bit tricky sometimes. Yeah, the only downside I've found is the car is pretty understeery on the soft ARB, which I expected, because you got more body roll and all that. You can definitely feel it, but it is better over the bumps, and I feel more stable, so. Or I'm turning in right before the 1 board and the separation of the banners there. Just a little bit before it. Alright, 10 minutes to go in P2 still. The leader is probably about 20 seconds ahead of us. That's being generous. That turn can really catch you off guard as well. I had multiple impacts there because it's kind of a blind corner. And you have to slow down a lot more than you'd expect. But thankfully, curse of the commentator, but we have not had a major mistake or issue yet. And in my first 2 races, I did, so I think it's just about backing it down a little bit and, again, running your pace. I can tell this guy's on power level 1. You'll see it how much faster I am on the straightaways. Look at how much I'm gaining on him. That's fucking nuts, man. It's like he's in a whole different class. And just now checking, Alexander has caught up to us again because I'm on a fucking Sunday drive. And I was also cutting these guys a break up here. John had a pretty big moment ahead of us, and I had to slow down to let him gather it up, and made sure to pass the 28 in a safe spot. There's our first wall hit of the race. Thankfully, this M2 can take a beating, so... Whoa. I'm looking at John making a mistake up there and doing the same thing myself. That was a huge moment. Remember what I said about no mistakes? Yeah, it's gone. Getting loose. I just feel like I'm eating up the front tires. I don't know if it's tire heat or actual wear, but I can definitely feel some sort of fall off. That I do want to further investigate. I also got to smooth out my throttle and brake traces a little bit, because that's, that graph, you can definitely tell in my telemetry that my inputs are not very smooth. I feel like they are in the wheel, but ever since I got these Pro pedals, my throttle and brake inputs aren't as smooth, I feel like. Just taking it nice and easy. But as I'm driving more road cars and modern cars, you can just fucking mash the gas down on a lot of them. And then I get into something like the Gen 4, or you know, some of the older stock car stuff, and that doesn't translate very well. It's kind of builds bad habits. So I need to go and run some of the higher horsepower stuff again. I was thinking of doing the NASCAR 1987s, but I never actually catch the fucking splits for those. I don't know if they run them every 2 or 2.5 hours or what, but I used to really enjoy those cars. And obviously, returning to PCC after not doing it for a long time. This is actually what I started out doing my road racing in, was all PCC back when it was the Solstice Jetta FR500S Miata. Those were fun days for sure. And I primarily did the FR500S. And that's how I learned my road racing skills, if you want to call them that.
White flag, one more lap to
Here
go.
we go, coming to the white flag. Yeah, I think I'm about to hit my 11th year on iRacing, which is pretty crazy that this sim has been in my life for almost half my life at this point. And I've been playing on and off. And I originally started to practice for my kart racing and mini stocks. And it was a good tool for that even back then, to learn racecraft, obviously. And obviously the sim has a lot of issues, but we're incredibly lucky and grateful to have a tool like this in a game like this to drive on, and that the physics are that realistic on. And a lot of what you learn on here transfers into real life. And I think it's awesome you can even run with real life drivers. I mean, where else are you gonna get that? And I know it's pretty pricey, but honestly, if you just buy the base subscription for a year on Black Friday sales or whatever, they give you a ton of stuff for free nowadays. So I do think it's well worth the value, and if you do enjoy it that much and you find yourself spending a lot of time on it, then you always have the option to expand the game and buy cars and tracks and stuff like that. Around turn 15 into 16 here to take the checkered flag. A very clean race. Or yap session, rather. And do 11 laps, so I can drop my fuel level a little bit. Good win to Ryan. Only saw him for about 2 seconds, so. But I feel like that was my best overall performance so far in this car, at least. Pissed off that the spec map is not working. I don't know if any of y'all know how to fix a spec map through Trading Paints Pro, but help with that would be much appreciated. So we finished 26 seconds off of the one car, and the fastest GR86 who passed us on like lap 2 or 3 didn't even catch Ryan Ware in the M2. That's crazy. Maybe the M2s are faster, I'm just not fast enough, I guess. But pretty successful video there. Hopefully everybody enjoyed it, and I will see y'all in the next video. I'm not sure if I'm gonna commentate or maybe run a different class, but I'm gonna be running this all week, so expect to see some more content, and we'll see y'all later.